All right, the day has finally arrived. Zack Snyder's Justice League. I finally had a chance to watch it. Well, I watched it this morning, but I haven't had a chance to do the review on it. I am going to be watching it as soon as I'm done here. I'm going to watch it a second time. I've got one word to describe this movie. It is epic. There's no question about it. In my eyes, this is the best superhero film that has ever been made, bar none. Uh, and I'm not just saying that as a DC fan. This film is well directed, it's well acted, it's got humor, and this is way different than Batman versus Superman and also Man of Steel. What I'm going to do in my review here is I'm going to talk about what is missing from the version that came out in 2017. I am going to talk about the few things that I thought could have been just a little bit better. I'll give you my overall rating on the film and my personal thoughts on the movie. So here's what's not in the film. And I'm also going to talk about what you shouldn't expect to see in the film. First of all, let's talk about what you shouldn't expect to see in the film. Don't go in thinking you're going to see Green Lantern. Green Lantern is not in this movie. I was hoping Ryan Reynolds, they were just kind of pulling our chain and Ryan Reynolds would make an appearance. Ryan Reynolds is not in this movie. There's only one Green Lantern in this movie, and it's the same Green Lantern from the version that we got before in a much better sequence that really explains why Steppenwolf is here and what Darkseid wants with Earth. That is a much better scene. This movie is not the same film that came out 4 years ago. It's a shell of a film, but it's completely different. So here's what's not in the movie. What's gone? You've got the whole opening sequence of the 2017 version is gone, with Batman on the rooftop, with the robber, and the whole thing with the fear and the parademons. That is not something that is even discussed in this version. It's gone. That whole thing is gone. The Wonder Woman, Flash falling on her breasts, that is gone. And the most horrid thing in that movie was Batman rolling on the ground saying, something's bleeding, something's bleeding. Gone. Gone. All gone. Not in the film at all. The weird mustache thing with the weird goofy looking CGI with Superman's face. Gone. The music. Gone. In fact, I thought the music, other than bringing back some of the original themes in the original film, was that was okay, but there was no theme for the team. There was no music to get you excited. That original score, gone, redone by Junkie XL. Let's talk about what was amazing about this film. Well, first, let me talk about the two things that I thought could have been slightly better. Some of the CGI in a few places was a little off. Not much, though. I will tell you, Steppenwolf is a freaking crazy character in this movie. He's evil from the inside out, very scary, great looking armor, great CGI, amazing. But there were some scenes in the film where some of the CGI looked a little bit off. Nothing to really throw you out of the film or ruin anything. Not in the scenes you would expect either. So that's my one little gripe, overall gripe. There was one throwaway line in the movie, and I'm not giving anything away by this, but there's a scene where Diana is talking with Alfred and he's creating some new tech for Batman. And she makes a comment about making a lasso for Batman. That's like the only thing he's missing out of his gear. And she said, preferably make it black. I thought that was completely unnecessary. It really didn't fit the film. So I thought that could have been left out as well. So I'm a massive Batman fan. I'll tell you, Bruce Wayne is really fleshed out in this version. There's more Batman stuff as well. But the people that really shined, the Flash got a bunch of new scenes, and he is pivotal in the final scene. They could not have done or accomplished what they needed to accomplish without the Flash at the end of the film. There's the Russians are gone too. The whole thing with Batman or with Superman picking up the house and the Flash driving some Russians off, pushing them in a truck, all gone. Because that left them with nothing to do in the film. They actually, both of them have a purpose in this film. The most amazing thing was the return of Superman in this movie. It really got my emotions running because in the original film, it was not epic. There was no great music when Superman returned. When he actually returns to the battle in this movie, it is pretty freaking awesome. I loved it. It was extremely well done. I can't praise Zack Snyder enough on this. I was already a believer because of Man of Steel and the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman. But this film here is epic from beginning to end. It's a great story. The story is fantastic. We get to see why Steppenwolf is there, who he is, what the mother boxes are, how they got here, what their purpose is. We really see in detail how they brought Superman back and their thought process in the whole thing. So many added scenes. The opening sequence with Wonder Woman in London. Well, it's not the opening sequence, but the sequence where they introduce Wonder Woman in the film and she's in London dealing with some terrorists was way extended. And holy freaking crap. Yeah. There I was actually verbally saying stuff and how awesome that scene was. When you see the team together for the first time and really fighting together. Again, I out loud made comments out loud. Like it was pretty freaking awesome. So here's what I'm going to tell people about this film. If you're going into this and you didn't like the first version and you hate these DC films, I don't see any reason why you're going to say you're going to like this one. See, the Marvel films, Zach even likes the Marvel films. I've enjoyed the Marvel films, but they're all pretty cookie cutter, right? They're all pretty close to the same formula. Zach admitted this last week. He was never trying to copy their formula, and that's what Warner Brothers wanted. Zach was never going to follow that formula. He was brave in this regards. He has an actual story with actual consequences actually leading somewhere. This movie actually makes Batman versus Superman a much better film because you understand the dream sequence that he had. You're going to get to see what that was. And I'm not going to spoil any more than that. And I will tell you the Joker is in this movie. And when the Joker does finally show up, yeah, pretty freaking awesome. It's the Joker we're all waiting for. It's going to make Jared Leto, again, people are going to want him back as the Joker. There is no way we're going to want this to end here. There's a lot more story to be told. There's actually 2 more films in this story. They need to be told. I can't believe that Warner Brothers, like I told my wife how I was going to start this review off, and I was going to start by actually, I don't cuss, but I was going to cuss in this version. I don't know how the hell Warner Brothers got a hold of this story and actually saw what Zach filmed and said, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this other thing. That other thing was horrible. It was disgusting. This film rights all the wrongs. Lois has some amazing scenes. We've got everything in this movie is amazing. I for the 4 hours I sat there, it didn't feel like 4 hours. You're able to take some breaks. There are 7 chapters total to the story, and you're going to want to stick around for the whole thing. And the last hour is just absolutely off the walls amazing. All of the stuff you didn't like in the first film is gone. The Flash, seeing his backstory with him and Iris was really neat. That whole sequence was really freaking cool. You get to see all of Cyborg's backstory and where he comes from. You get to see a little more about Aquaman, which is great. So there's nothing in this movie that ruins anything that came before or after. There's no reason why they can't continue with this storyline going forward because there is no Justice League 2 right now. And they haven't done anything with these characters really since, except for Wonder Woman and Aquaman. So they could continue off of this. And I can tell you the fans are not going to let it stop here. Restore the Snyderverse. That's all I could say is it's time to restore the Snyderverse. You guys should go into this movie, enjoy it for what it is. It is Lord of the Rings epic. This is a very much adult story. I have a 14-year-old. She even watched the whole thing and was glued to it. This movie is freaking amazing. I can't put it any other way. So go watch it, enjoy it, tweet the hashtag, restore the Snyderverse, make our voices heard. Warner Brothers, we need more. AT&T, if you see this video, we can't let Warner Brothers run away from this. It's time to put the gauntlet down. Let Zack tell his story because there's a lot more to be told. And it looks amazing. So let's get it done. That's all I got to say. This movie brought up a lot of emotions in me. You could see I'm not as it was emotionally draining, to be honest with you, being such a fan of these characters and being so disappointed with what they did with the 2017 version and knowing 90% of what we saw in the trailers wasn't there. There was more to be told with Superman's return and Lois and their relationship. And his mom, and there's a few surprises along the way. Um, and some of the surprises that are in the movie are going to make you rethink some of the scenes that were in Man of Steel and in Batman versus Superman. I'm telling you right now, there's some really fun things that happen in this movie, and the ending has some really neat stuff. And there's even some scenes with certain characters at Star Labs that are going to bring in other characters down the line with Justice League as well. So I really hope Zack gets to flesh out his universe, because this story needs to be told. These characters are amazing. This movie was amazing. So thank you, Zack Snyder. Thank you, AT&T. Thank you, HBO Max. Warner Brothers, still not pleased with Warner Brothers. They have a lot to make up for. I still don't trust them. So let's get these other movies made, and let's restore the Snyderverse.